Welcome, everybody, to Mindful Weekend Yoga. I'm super glad you are all here. And a quick reminder, I'm going to teach Super Bowl alternative yoga tomorrow afternoon at 4 Pacific for anyone who would like to join. It'll be more of a yin, slower class. And today we are going to honor this idea of the Qi of the dragon. It is the first day of Chinese New Year. And I thought that would be fun. And there is a podcast, if anyone would like to listen to it, that came out today about the Qi of the dragon. And we'll explore it on the mat. And if you want to listen more, take a listen. It's called the Mindful Healers Podcast, and it was released this morning. So arrive on your mat and sit up upon something. If you have something that can lift your hips above your knees to release your hip flexors a little bit. We spend a lot of time folded, and when we release our hip flexors, tilt your pelvic bowl forward and align your spine all the way up to the sky, you get a bit of a release even just from that. And as you tilt your pelvic bowl forward, stack each vertebrae easily atop each other, going all the way up through your neck to the crown of your head. Rest hands lightly on your thighs. And if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. And if not, just a light, loose gaze. And breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Another big breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And continue breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth with intention, allowing yourself to arrive in your body. And this year of the dragon is about vitality and vigor and vision, with a little bit of creativity thrown in. And it's the year of the wood dragon. And the wood is a bit of the tools for the fire for the dragon, but also about building and rebuilding. And so I offer those as an invitation on your mat today. Perhaps you might like to bring a bit more vitality back into your life. What might that look like? Might it look to start by simply focusing on your breath? And perhaps flipping your hands open towards the sky in a bit of a receptive position, just noticing how it feels different with palms open. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as I offer this idea of vitality and vigor, I just came back from Healthy Kitchens, Healthy Lives, and they were talking about living healthy. And they also mentioned to not use this word healthy or nutritious, and making people worried about how they're failing is not the way forward. And instead to appeal to people, humans, the human brain and the human heart and the human body with this idea of things that feel good. And I think that is the invitation of Qi and flow and the dragon, focusing on doing more of what feels good, focusing more on what's working and less on what's not. And could that tiny shift bring in more vigor and vitality and vision to see options for more slight shifts? Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Noticing that heart space underneath, and remembering you can put your hand anywhere. It can be directly over your anatomical heart. It can be over your sternum in the center. Place it where it's comfortable. Checking in with the fact that you have a heart today. Does it feel strong? Does it feel vigorous? Does it feel full of vitality, or is it tired, cranky, tight? Sending the breath and noticing how it shifts. The breath is part of our life force. It's part of Qi. In yoga, we call it pranayama. all of these ideas from cultures long ago embody the same thing. They embody energy, they embody feeling good, and they embody intention and shifting with intention. So, what might that look like? If you send the breath anywhere in your body that needs energy and attention, breathing out the tired, tight, judgmental frustration, letting it go. Shifting that chi, life force, energy, simply with the breath, breathing in, your chest rising, enveloping your heart with energy and a kind, soft breath. And exhale, releasing what's getting in the way, what's keeping you stuck. Chi is also about the flow of energy. And very often we are blocking that flow. What might you need to let go of today to shift, move, begin the flow once again? Noticing with hands to heart, sending yourself compassion, non-judgment for where you might happen to be today. Start where you're starting. One little tiny step at a time. Perhaps it's just one breath. I often tell that story that when I came to yoga in a dark time a while ago, I had to relearn how to breathe one breath at a time. And so I invite any of you who might be in a sticky spot today to just focus on the breath, breathing in and out one breath at a time. Noticing simply breathing shifts your energy, perhaps restores a bit of flow, moves some sludge, some tightness. Focusing on the breath and your chest rising and falling. And checking in here with your heart. Your heart is perhaps much stronger than you think. How might you use your heart strength, your fortitude, your wisdom, all the tools that you have already to move forward with a bit more vitality and strength, feeling more vigorous, with vision? The vision is purpose and intention. It's with intentional creativity, finding ways forward that work for everyone, that turn out better than you expect. How might you move just slightly in that direction? How might you wake up that inner dragon? Dragons breathe fire, but they're also magical. They can even fly. Thinking about them in a bit of that lighthearted way, we explored whimsy last week. And could your dragon have a bit of whimsy, a bit of lightness, making this journey towards vitality and vigorousness feel a little less onerous and a little more fun? Full of compassion and lightness, and perhaps even joy. One of the signs outside of the Culinary Institute of America says, feed your joy. So thinking about that as a way to grow this inner vitality, to balance your chi, to unblock the flow. Noticing for a moment here where you might feel the blocks, send the breath there and just perhaps nudge them loose, soften them a wee bit. Not all or none, no pressure, just a little softness. And taking a moment to check in with all of those ideas. What resonates? What do you just want to toss isn't for you today? Individualizing, personalizing your practice. What feels right? What would help you feel more vitality and vigor today? Remembering the invitation to let it be a small thing, a small shift. Subtle is significant. And taking a moment to send yourself good wishes for the journey, and to send everyone here joining us good wishes for their journey. And taking a moment to honor this new moon. The Chinese New Year is a lunar new year, and the new moon, we get yet another chance for a new beginning, a fresh start. What if today could be that? And keeping it simple, what would you do more of and less of to feel more vitality, more vigor, to see more clearly? And we'll bring our hands together, rubbing them, creating a little bit of heat, maybe a little bit of that dragon fire, rubbing them faster and faster and faster. Bring thumbs to heart, to sternum, fingers reach up towards the sky. Press your palms together with intention. Notice that skin to skin, enjoying it. Elbows out wide, taking in a deep breath here. And a huge out breath. And take a moment to set your own personal intention around this chi of the dragon, vision, vitality, feeling vigorous, whatever it might be. When you feel complete, lowering hands, opening eyes, we'll come back together once again, noticing how you feel. Just giving yourself a few wiggles, keeping it light. Connect your sit bones. Once again, the ischial spines, root them downward. Engaging your belly, stacking your spine, growing tall and strong. Engage that belly across the center. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Right thumb and middle finger will grab the left wrist and grow as tall as you can, wiggling your side body, reaching tall, tall, tall. Huge breath in. Exhale, tip to the right, lengthen the whole left side body. Inhale, tug gently to the right. And exhale, breathe it out with a little more energy than usual. Inviting the flow, creating a little more heat than usual. Tug gently to the right. And exhale, let it go. Coming back to center, switch the clasp of your hands. Inhale, reach tall. Rooting right hip downward, stretching as tall as you can, growing tall. Breathing in, embodying that dragon energy with force. Exhale, tip to the left. Inhale, tug. Exhale, stretch, growing tall, strong. Coming back to center. Release your hands, interlace your fingers, flip the palms to the sky, stretch and wiggle, slight arch back. Your heart is shining forward. Dragons are strong and proud. Exhale, round forward, suck your navel back, press forward with energy. Inhale that life force, arch backwards. And exhale, round forward. Seated cat cow, but envision it as an energy movement. Inhaling, growing tall. Exhale, round forward, shifting the energy, shifting the sledge. Once again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand comes to the earth. Spread your 5 fingers wide, plant them downward. Reach the left hip into the earth, bend right elbow, stretch to the right. Huge breath in and out. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, drop left hand, fingers spread wide, right hip downward. Reach your right arm over. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reaching back to center. Exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches to the right. Breathe in and out. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop to the left, reach. And exhale, let it go. Coming back to center, open your arms out wide, palms face the front. Pause for a moment. Squeeze your hands tight, tight, tight fists. Exhale, release like the firecrackers of Lunar New Year. Squeeze tight, exhale, release. We'll do that as fast as we can here, creating some heat and shifting energy. We're going to do a little more flow and a little more heat building today. So if for any of you that's not what your body needs, listen to your body and opt out. Squeezing, flinging the water, shooting out firecrackers or sparklers, whatever feels good, noticing that heat in your arms. And pause, palms facing the floor. Reach fingertips to the sky. Exhale, lower them to the earth. Inhale, reach fingertips to the sky. Exhale, lower them to the earth. Bring your hands back to neutral. Palms will face front. Huge breath in here. Exhale, round forward, suck your navel back, reach the crown of your head forward, embracing all that bounty and success of the year of the dragon. Inhale, stretch arms open wide, heart shines forward. Once again, envision the energy shifting as you pinch your scapula together, arms as open as far back as you can, chest opening. For many of us, this is tight. Round forward, sucking your navel all the way back. Inhale, puff belly out, puff chest out, envisioning the breath and the life force shifting here. Round forward, sucking your navel in, embracing that bounty, letting it in, having fun with it. And exhale, open wide. Lower your arms to the floor, roll your shoulders back with kindness 3 times. And rolling them forward. One of these things about chi that I learned is that chi is the balance of energy. And the balance also includes rest. And one of the things to balance your chi is to rest. So the invitation here is drop your shoulders, let your fingers hang, and just notice how you feel. Taking in a big restful breath here. And exhale, let it out. And we will take the block, bolster, or pillow out from underneath you. Stretch your legs long. Move that flesh of your seat out of the way with kindness. Let your sit bones root downward. Your knees will bend gently. If you need a blanket under your knees or your hips, feel free. Engage your belly once again. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, roll forward, drop head and neck, round your back. And if your knees would like to come to the floor, let them fall. Huge breath in here, filling every nook and cranny of the lungs with breath. And exhale, letting it go. Envisioning shifting the energy. We know that the breath actually does that physiologically, breathing in to every nook and cranny of the back. And exhale, let it out. Flex your ankles, flex your toes towards you. Spread every toe wide and notice the energetic shift here. Relax your toes, point your toes towards the front. Enjoy the shins. Sliding up your knees, your hands to your thighs. Flex ankles once again. Sit up tall. Root your sit bones downward, noticing that when we are connected to the earth, we have a lot more strength. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward. Bring your hands behind you in little cupcakes, shoulders down and back. Press your chest forward. Coming into Dandasana pose, you'll straighten your knees, your heels may lift up off the ground. Once again, spread the toes. Everything engaged here. Enjoying that shift and that energy. Heart shining forward. And you can do, we call it a lion's breath. We could call it a dragon breath today as you stick your tongue out on the exhale, breathing in a huge inhale and stick your tongue out, letting it go. And remember here, nobody's watching you on Zoom. Breathing in and a huge exhale, whatever that might look like. It might not be your tongue. It might just be blowing things out with force, like you're stoking a fire. And relaxing toes, arms, elbows. Point toes once again, and just enjoy the energy in the front of the shins that we don't get very often. Flexing ankles, relax your arms and shoulders. We're going to sweep our knees around, coming to hands and knees. If you need a knee pad, you can grab a blanket under your knees if your knees are tender or cranky. And find your even spot. You can waggle your hips, spread your fingers wide, equal pie shapes between each set of fingers. Press the cupping in the palms flat, elbows straight, humeral heads into the shoulder sockets, and find your belly once again. Inhale, arch into cow. Enjoy the belly stretch. Notice your throat, that fire spot. Gaze forward. Make it a full cow. Exhale, round into cat, sucking your navel all the way up. Inhale into cow, and we'll do a few of these here. Do them however you want, shifting the energy. Envision it as an energy shifting exercise, stretching, wakening things. Heart is shining forward energetically. The dragon has good energy. So inviting more of that good chi, positive energy in. And it could just be a tiny bit. If you're not in that place where really great energy can come, just soften a little bit and just explore, play with it. We will come back to hands and knees. Extend right leg long behind, toes on the floor. Engage your belly to protect your back. Inhale, lift your right heel up to a little below hip height. Pause here, exhale. Next inhale, stretch left arm long, reaching long, stretching, growing, letting the energy go from your fingers to your heels, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Point your toe. Notice the shift. Flex your toe. Huge breath in. Exhale, elbow to knee or wherever you can get. If that works for you, if it doesn't, just stay in hands and knees. Inhale, lengthen, stretch. Exhale, shifting that energy, squeezing, snuggling everything in. Stretch long, inhale, grow. One more on this side. If you're shaking or wiggling, no worries. Squeeze elbow to knee and stretch long, long, long. Lower left hand, drop your right toes to the floor, drop your right heel to the floor, reach right arm to the sky, coming into gate pose and roll out that right wrist in case it's cranky. Extend the right arm long over your right ear and enjoy the line of the right side body. Stretch the fingers as long as you can and let your neck just be kind, hang. Huge breath in, raise your right leg up to hip height and just play with it. Roll the right ankle, roll the right wrist. Once again, just moving energy. Lowering right foot, reach right arm to the sky. Drop right arm into the left hip crease, rolling your shoulder back. Heart rolls open and gaze up to the sky if it's okay for your neck. Once again, welcoming in that energy. Letting go of that tightness, holding everything tight. The energy of the dragon is not that hyper-vigilant, worried energy. It's a momentum energy. Dropping the outer edge of that right foot to the floor. Notice those slight tweaks. And point your toe here, lifting your heel up off the floor. Notice how that feels. Roll the shoulder back. Reach right arm to the sky. Let your hands draw back an inch or two, opening those tight chest muscles where we hold everything tight, inviting the energy here to shift. Huge breath in. Exhale, come back to hands and knees, switch sides, have a little waggle. Remembering that these shifts in energy come when we play and we're light. Readjust your hands, being kind to any cranky wrists. If your wrists are quite cranky, come to your fists. Huge breath in. Exhale, stretch left leg long. Inhale, lift left foot a little below hip height. Your belly is parallel to the floor. When you're ready, stretch. Right arm long, left heel long, long, long. Roll wrists and ankles. Stretch long once again. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath you, however it works for you. Inhale, stretch long, shift the energy. Exhale, hug it, elbow to knee. Inhale, shift long. You can envision that breath as like fiery dragon breath if you want, or calm, cool breath. Just do what works for you. Lower the hands, lower the toe, drop the heel, coming into gate pose here. Huge breath in. Exhale, left arm over left ear, outer edge of the left foot hits the floor, stretch and grow. Huge breath in and out. If you want to raise your left foot up, feel free, finding that balance, inviting the wiggles and the topples, finding those creative solutions. Your right foot may want to kickstand back a little bit to help you balance. Creative solutions that help things flow and work for everybody. Rolling wrists and ankles if need be. Lower the foot, reach left hand to the sky. Drop left hand into the right hip crease. Roll left shoulder open, gaze up, roll your heart open. Giving it space to fill. Letting it fill fully to give it that energy. Balancing the rest phase, the diastole with the systole, the filling energy, breathing in and out. Reach left arm towards the sky, draw the hand back about 2 inches. Enjoy the stretch in the chest and let your heart puff out a little bit. Most of us curl it under and hide it most of the time. Just let it enjoy peeking out, being seen. Roll the wrist. Come back to hands and knees, and we'll come back to child's pose. Toes together, knees apart, and your hips will come back. And you'll walk your hands far forward, lower forehead to the floor. And pause here. You can make room for your belly if you need it, without judgment, and focus on your breath. Inviting rest here and a pause, letting that shifted energy settle. Three more breaths here. Just notice how you feel. And try not to stop the energy flow. Just let it do whatever it's doing. If you need a blanket between your calves and your rear end, that might feel good if this is too squunchy on your knees. When you feel ready, coming back to hands and knees, we'll walk our hands a handprint forward, curl toes, and lift up to downward dog. Hips shooting up towards the sky. And hang out here for a moment. Walk the dog, stretch your hips. Do what feels good here. Perhaps lift up as high as you can on your tiptoes. Shoot your hips to the sky. Drop head and neck. And when it feels delicious, lower your heels to the floor and enjoy the stretch. Let yourself melt. And notice the energy shift here. Notice if there's any pockets here that need attention. Upside down, we often notice things we don't notice in other places. And take a minute to find the best dog for your body. You may want to widen your feet, widen your hands. If you're tall, you very likely want to widen your hands. If you have broad shoulders, you might want to widen your hands. Notice what feels good, and it might be different than what's usual. Huge breath in here. And out. Another big breath in. And out. Lifting up onto your tiptoes,
Walking hands towards the middle of the mat, feet towards the middle of the mat. Coming into an easy forward fold, grab elbows and let yourself sag into ragdoll pose. Lifting up all 10 toes, spread them wide, lower them down. Sway around till you find your center. Notice how it feels when you find it. Hang out there for a minute. Huge breath in and out. Lower hands. Engage your belly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch. Your head will be the last to rise. And let the blood flow settle. Let that energy shift and land. Wiggle fingers and toes lightly and let yourself enjoy it for a moment here. No rush, no urgency to get anywhere else. Huge breath in and out. Inhale your arms out and up, reaching them towards the sky. Your right thumb and middle finger grab left wrist. Inhale and grow tall. Exhale, gently tip to the right, filling the whole left side body with breath. Inhale, come back to center, switch hands. Exhale, tip to left. Inhale, come back to center, switch hands. Exhale, tip to the right. Use your belly here to protect your back. Inhale, switch hands. Come to center. Exhale, tilt to the left. Come back to center. Release hands. Inhale and exhale, reorganize yourself. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, use your belly, twist to the right. Right arm will come behind you, left arm will come in front. Use your belly here to move intentionally. Inhale, reach arms towards the sky, twist back to the center. Exhale to the left. Envision that energy moving. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, twist back to center. Exhale to the right. We'll do one more this side. Inhale towards the sky, come back to center. Exhale to the left. Reaching arms back to the sky, come back to center. Exhale, open your arms to the side, shaking hands, fingers, roll shoulders if you notice any tightness or any gripping. Come back to center. We're going to, if you can come to the side of the mat, and if you face your screen with the side of the mat, that's going to be the easiest way to do this. Starting in the center of your mat, you're going to step your feet out wide. Sides of the feet will be parallel to the front and back of the mat. And you will reach your arms out parallel. Your wrists should be essentially above your ankles. Noticing how that feels. You're going to turn your right toe to face the back of the mat. Hips will shoot to the left. Right arm will shoot all the way forward and will come into Trikonasana or triangle pose. You can grab your block if you wish. Roll your heart open. Left arm reaches towards the sky. If you don't have a block, have your hand on your shin or the floor or your thigh, but not over your knee. Rolling left shoulder open, gazing up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale. You can stay here, or for anyone that wants to come into half moon in honor of this Lunar New Year, if you have a block, use that. Or if you have a couch ledge, you can also use that. You're going to bend your right knee, pick up the block, bring your block a foot or two in front, lower the block, and raise your left foot to the sky. And wiggle and wobble all you need here. Noticing the energy. The balance is about wiggles and wobbles and readjusting. One more breath here, embracing your moon, whatever it looks like. Lower the back foot. lower the block, or we'd come off the couch cushion if that's what you've got. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, drop left hand down the left thigh. Right arm is going to reach up, coming into peaceful triangle. Right foot is straight. That's the difference between this and peaceful warrior. Huge breath in. Exhale, stretch left hand down. You'll notice a lovely opening in the heart space and the lungs. Cartwheel open. Bend your front knee. Come into warrior two. You may want to lengthen your stance. Your left foot will come back farther. Right knee will be right over the right ankle, not in front of the right ankle, to be kind. Gaze is over the right middle finger, drishti. So a strong warrior pose. Notice here this sense of maybe a little bit more vitality, a little bit more vigor. And gazing over that right middle finger, thinking about this idea of vision. What might your vision be for this year of the dragon, this year of the wood dragon, which also invites rebuilding and building, or burning things up, apparently all of the above. And I might not have all of this totally aligned. It's what Ni Chang taught me in the podcast. So she endorsed the idea for the class, so hopefully I'm close. Breathing in and breathing out over the right middle finger. Inhale and flip right palm open to the sky. Exhale, left hand's going to drop down the left hip. Arch back into peaceful warrior. These strong warriors and dragons can also be peaceful and calm. That's the balancing of the chi and the energy. Cartwheel arms open once again. Hop your left foot out about a foot. Turn your hips towards the front and come into warrior one. You may really need to widen your stance. You may need to bring your right foot a little bit wider. Hips are going to twist to face the back of the mat, which for most of you, or what was originally the back of the mat. Reaching arms tall. Huge breath in, grow tall. Use the breath to restore energy, refill that energy. Imagine it pouring down into your armpits, into your waist, into your pelvis as you reach tall. Exhale, bend front knee, sink in a little bit more. Your back heel may or may not be on the floor. You probably will feel a calf stretch. Huge breath in. Exhale, arms will come wide. Reclasp them at your sacrum. Shoot your heart forward. Heart shining forward, shoulders down and back, hands reaching towards the floor. Huge breath in. Drop chin to chest. Notice how that feels. Enjoy your neck. Bring chin back to center. If you wish, you can tip forward into humble warrior with your hands reaching towards the sky. If this is too much, doesn't work for you, the energy is not right, stay up. Be cognizant of your energy and do what works for you, building the heat, shifting the energy without causing harm, with compassion. Drop your head if you're down and shake it out so you're not hurting anything. Slowly rising up to warrior one. Huge breath in, shoot hands downward. Exhale, release hands, shake them out. We're going to bring the hands to heart center and come into warrior three. Anyone who wants to opt out of this one, feel free. I encourage you just to try it and play with it. Right toes will shoot forward. You can pick up your back heel, bring hands to heart center for balance. That's the kind thing for balance. And noticing what you need to support yourself for balance. That's part of the chi, is figuring out what allows your energy to flow. Press the hands together to send the energy there. Press the thumbs into the sternum. Press your right foot towards the floor. Lift up all four corners. Lift up all toes on the right foot. Ground the four corners of the right foot. Lower the toes. Shift weight into the front foot. And you'll pick your back foot up. It may just be on tippy toes. maybe halfway, or it may be all the way. Coming into whatever feels good. And do with your hands what feels good. Hands to heart is going to be the most centered, stable, warrior 3. But some of you may wish to fly or do Superman. Do what's fun. Invite that lightness and play. Perhaps invite a little Puff the Magic Dragon. Lowering your back foot to the floor, reach arms to the sky. Huge breath in. Exhale, twist back to the side of your mat. Bring hands to hips. Turn your toes to the side, coming into a wide angle pose. Turn heels in. Come into second position for anyone who did ballet. Squatting down, seat roots towards the floor. Knees are bent, knees are over your ankles. Be kind to yourself. And raise arms up into a cactus shape. We're coming into goddess pose. I love goddess pose, and somehow it's energetic. Lifting up, right heel. Lower it down, and left heel. And both heels if it's fun. Otherwise, stay down, lowering them. Lower elbows to waist. Shoot them towards the sky. Elbows to waist once again. Shoot them up towards the sky. Straighten your knees, coming into that star pose. Bring hands to elbows once again. Wiggle your toes. You're going to heel toe your feet a little bit closer. We're going to come into yogi squat. So decide where your feet need to be for that. You're going to squat down and figure out what works for you. Some of you will need a blanket under your heels. Take your time to set up your yogi squat. Anatomically, some of our heels do not reach the ground. It's not a flexibility thing. Bring elbows to the inside of your knees, hands together, enjoying that skin to skin energy, creating a little heat. Press the thumbs into your sternum and press elbows into knees and heels coming towards the floor. This pose is a lot about the feminine energy and the creative energy in your sacral groin area. And I think that the year of the dragon needs some more feminine energy. And we definitely need creative solutions in all of our lives and in the world. And perhaps inviting that here. You might want to waggle your knees a little bit. Again, inviting that lightness. And if it's fun, drop right hand to the floor. Left arm reaches to the sky, coming into a little twist here. Coming back to center, hands together for a moment. Press the thumbs into the sternum, press elbows to knees. Drop left hand to the floor. If you have short arms, you might need a fist. Reach right arm to the sky, gaze upward, opening your heart, roll the wrist. Lowering it down, come back to center, hands to heart center, thumbs to sternum. Lower fists to the floor, turn your heels straight, coming up and release into a forward fold, drop head and neck. Lift up all 10 toes, lower them down. Bring hands to hips. With a flat back, rise up and rise up to stand. A little bit different way to get to standing. When you arrive, let yourself melt. Loosen your knees, unlock them, and come into Tadasana or mountain pose. Allow yourself to pause here and notice everything, the tingles, what you feel. You may notice that energy, that literal chi energy flowing, I hope, a bit unstuck. Notice your breath. Perhaps notice that vitality, which I would equate to being alive, feeling alive. Notice if you feel that way. If you would like to bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, checking in, sending yourself a little bit of compassion here, and perhaps compassion for everyone joining us. Compassion for everyone in your inner family circle. Compassion for everyone in your outer family circle. And compassion for that whole world out there. part of the invitation of this year of the wooden dragon is finding creative solutions that benefit everyone. And coming from that heart-centered place, that place where you feel a little more vigorous and a little more vitality and feeling alive, that's where those creative solutions are born. Lowering hands, rolling out wrists, lifting toes. We'll spread our feet wide. Once again, grab your block if you need it for your triangle pose. Your sides of the feet are parallel to the front and back of the mat. Spread arms wide to a T. Turn left foot towards the front of the mat, likely towards the short end of the mat. Tip your right hip all the way back. Reach that left hand as far forward as you can with intention. Lower left hand to block, shin, floor, whatever works for your body. Remembering no judgment allowed in yoga. Rolling wrist. Roll heart open and draw the right arm back to whatever degree you can. Wrap the right inner thigh inward, engage it a little bit. Engage the left inner thigh. If you would like to come into half moon, you can leave your right arm up or bring it to the hip. That's a bit of a trick. Bend the left knee. Hop the block forward a few inches, or you can see I can use this ledge that happens to be in this room and raise the right leg. So again, there's lots of options. Your hips are stacked and your right glute, the outer hip, is very much engaged here. In half moon, you can use a bed, you can use a couch or table. Rolling hand and wrist, inviting lightness. And when your adventure in half moon feels complete, lower right foot to the floor. Straight the left knee. Drop right hand down the right thigh, reach left hand up, coming into this reverse peaceful triangle. Enjoying that. Notice the stretch in the left rib cage. Breathing in, shifting the energy, unstuck energy, resurrecting that energy flow. Exhale, bend front knee, cartwheel, arms open. Come into warrior two. You may want to widen your stance, wiggle the back foot back. As you bend the left knee, make sure it's not in front of the left ankle. Arms in both directions, gaze over the left middle finger. We call it drishti. Thinking about that vision, that intentional vision for this year of the wood dragon. I didn't know until this year that there were elements of dragons. So there was a golden dragon in 2000 when my son was born, and I knew about that. But apparently there's always an element. It adds flavor to the situation. Drop right hand down the right thigh, cartwheel, reach the left arm up and over towards the crease between the ceiling and the back wall. Fan open the front ribs, coming into peaceful warrior. Enjoying the rib cage fanning open a little bit different here. Come back to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Cartwheel, arms open. You're going to hop the right foot out a little bit wider. Coming into warrior one, your hips will shift to face the short end of the mat. Your right foot is a little bit less on an angle. Heel reaches towards the floor, may or may not reach, and arms reach towards the sky. Bend the front knee, make sure it is not bending in front of the ankle. Reaching tall as you can. Exhale, bend that knee, stretching, enjoying. Grow tall. Reaching arms out, clasp them at your sacrum, press fists downward. Heart shoots forward, proud heart. Lots of energy, stretching, opening, breathing. If you wish, fold forward into that humble warrior. Your left hip may or may not like it. If it's not working for your hip, opt out. Drop the head and neck and be sure your neck is not tight and stuck as you're in this humble warrior. Enjoy the opening in the front of the shoulders if you are. Huge breath and exhale. Lower hands, rise up. Use your belly. Release hands, come to heart center. We're going to come into that warrior 3 again, and it's going to look different for every one of us. Lifting up onto the back toes. Connect to the 4 corners of the front feet by lifting up and spreading all 5 toes. Hop your back foot forward. Shift your weight. Raise your right leg a little or a lot. Tip forward a little or a lot. It might be different than on the other side. And just have fun with it. My side here is very tippy. The other side is much more stable. Just noticing without judgment, sending yourself compassion for whatever that hip and leg are experiencing today. And when this side feels complete, lower your back foot down, lower your hands, bring your hands to hips. Straight your front knee, turn your toes to the sides. Feet will be parallel to the side of the mat and we'll hinge forward, coming into a wide angle forward fold. You can grab a block if you have one or 2 and lower your forehead to the block. If you have high blood pressure or headaches, keep your back flat, heart shining forward. Notice what works for you. Perhaps bring hands between your legs, reaching them far back, and enjoy a moment of pause. Close eyes if that works for you. Breathe. Let your heart slow down here. Bring your hands back under your feet, wherever you happen to be. Press into your hands. You'll be on your fists and you'll heel toe your feet back to center. Bend your knees generously, lower your hips to the floor. And we will lower ourselves down to lying on the floor with knees bent, however works for you to get there. Some of you may wish to roll down inch by inch using your belly. Others may wish to just flop. Do whatever works for you today. Soles of the feet on the floor, hands by your sides. And take a moment and notice how you feel. Come back to the breath. Notice the energy moving. Walk your heels slightly towards your rear end. Press into your palms. Lift up hips, coming into a bridge pose. Release the back body. Your hips will shine towards the sky. Knees energetically connect. Tuck your shoulders under so your heart is fully open. Gazing up to the sky. Glutes are engaged, awake. You can grab the outer edge of your mat, tug forward, reach high, high, high. Breathe in. Exhale, untuck, lower down to the floor and pause. Notice the energy move. Cross right ankle over left knee. Thread your hands around left thigh. Come into figure 4. If you want to leave your left foot on the floor, you can. Otherwise, grab the back of the left thigh, hug it inward, press right elbow into right knee. Using a little more energy than usual to experience the stretch. Have a rock side to side here. Notice the subtle movement, the different energy shifts. Lower your left foot. Reach arms above in a cactus shape. Drop your knees to the left, coming into a figure 4 twist.
Right sole of the foot's going to be on the floor, and you'll have a lovely stretch in the right hip. Allow the energy to move and flow and shift here. Noticing perhaps here feeling a little more vitality than when you began. Breathing in and out. Slowly bring knees back to center. Uncross the right ankle, lower it to the floor. Let your right knee flop out to the right and thread your right foot between the left heel and the rear end. Lower the right knee towards the floor, and you'll have a stretch in the hip flexor and the right thigh. Arms are still above you. 3 breaths here, noticing your heart slow. Untuck the right foot, come back to knees bent, feet apart. You'll bring left ankle above right knee, thread hands through, hugging it in. If that works for you, left elbow into left knee. Flex your ankles to protect your knees if you need, and hang out here. Have a rock if you want. It doesn't have to be a total stable, serious pose. And when you're ready, reach arms above in cactus shape. Drop your hips to the right, and left sole of the foot will land on the floor. Outer edge of the right thigh will land on the floor. Enjoying the stretch everywhere. Come back to center. Uncross the knee, lower it down, thread the left ankle through the right heel, the space, the triangle between the right heel and rear end, and lower the left knee to the floor and enjoy the stretch. We will come into Shavasana next, or final resting pose. As you untangle the left foot, you can do Shavasana in reclining butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees apart. I would put blocks or pillows under your knees and hand to heart, hand to belly if you choose this option. Or coming into a traditional Shavasana, which is lying on your mat. Toes flap towards the outer edge of the front corners of the mat, palms open by your sides about 6 inches from your waist. Wherever you are, pause and breathe for a moment, breathing in and out. Setting an intention to let yourself relax. Let yourself surrender and be. Let that energy move. Let the sense of vitality and movement and feeling alive percolate through as you rest. Taking a huge inhale. And on the exhale, settle in for a rest.
you would like to stay in Shavasana, feel free. It's the beauty of Zoom and or YouTube yoga. Stay as long as you wish. If you're ready to come out, gently deepen your breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. Noticing the consciousness come back to your body. Have a stretch, a delicious, delightful stretch, nourishing one that feels good. And roll to one side, whatever one feels right. Pause for a moment and check in. Check in with your energy. Notice how you feel. Perhaps let this be the appeal of doing more yoga if you feel good. Or be curious about that energy, what's shifting, what's moving. And when you're ready, press into your hands and come up to a comfortable seat. You can sit on a block, the bolster, just on the earth, whatever feels good. Bring hands to your thighs, palms open, heart shining forward. Realign your spine, grow tall, reach the crown of the head to the sky. Take in a big deep breath. Huge exhale, let it out. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May you all have a week full of vigor, vitality, vision, and flowing energy. Bring a hand to heart and another hand atop. Sealing in the energy of the practice. Sealing in how you feel in this moment so you can carry it with you as you move on in your day and your week and the month ahead. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.